Hi everyone, my name is Kat and I'm an interpreter with the Sonoma Mendocino Coast District, and I'm so excited that you've joined me because today is a craft corner. We're going to be making these fun and easy wildflowers, and in order to make these you only need a couple of supplies that you probably already have in your home. You will need a pipe cleaner, a fork, yes, a fork, intriguing, some scissors, and yarn. That's it. So first of all, before we get started, I want to say thank you to the Mendocino Area Parks Association. They are an amazing association, a non-profit collaborating association that helps us out with some really amazing projects. So thank you, Mendo Parks. Now today we are going to be making these wildflowers so that we don't have to pick any wildflowers that we see in the California state parks. And I'm going to talk about why that's so important while we're making this craft. So I'm going to go ahead and move the camera down so you can see what I'm doing with my hands, and we can get started. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. Now we can see everything we need: our yarn, scissors, fork, and pipe cleaner. So you're going to start off by putting your pipe cleaner right next to the fork, just like that. And then you're going to take your yarn, and this takes a little bit of coordination. You're going to hold it just like that. You've got a little bit of yarn coming off the side, and you're going to wrap it around the fork and the pipe cleaner, just like that. And you want to get a good amount of yarn on there. So while we're wrapping, let's go ahead and talk about why it's so important that we leave the wildflowers in the park. Now, wildflowers are so beautiful. So it's important, number one, that we leave wildflowers for everyone to see. We don't go into other people's houses and take their stuff. When you pick wildflowers, it's kind of essentially what you're doing to the state park. We get to visit other animals' habitats, but when we take it home with us, we're affecting their home. What about the pollinators that needed that flower? What if that's a food source for an animal? What if it's really rare, like the Howell spine flower here in McCarricker State Park and on the Mendocino coast? Seeing all those amazing colors on the bluffs is a great way to remind us how much life is in our parks. Amazing biodiversity. I know it looks like a lot of yarn, just keep going. It's a great way to notice biodiversity, and I'm not sure if you know, actually yesterday was California Biodiversity Day. So by seeing all those amazing colors, all the different kinds of wildflowers in a park, we can take pictures, maybe even smell them, but always leave them where they are. And instead, make your own. All right, so now that we have this all nice and wrapped up, I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And here's the next part. I'm going to do this really close so you can see. I'm going to use this part of the pipe cleaner and this part of the pipe cleaner, the top and the bottom, and I'm going to twist them together really, really, really tight. And that way, we know our flower will be nice and safe and secure. Now this is kind of the fun part, at least for me. You're going to slide this whole thing right off the fork. Boop, just like that. Now what you have here is a bunch of loops. You see that? You're going to take those scissors that we talked about and cut the loops apart. That's how we get all these really fun, fluffy petals that we see on our example. And it's okay if you miss a couple of loops, because you can just go back in and snip, just like that. Fluff it up a little bit, and I present to you your very own wildflower to have in your home. Now what I did for our example here was I made a couple of them, and I attached them all together and put them in this fun vase that we actually learned how to make in a past craft corner. So if you're curious, go check out our videos. Well, thanks so much for joining me, everyone, for learning about why it's so important to leave wildflowers in our parks where they belong. They're a home. They're in a home, they're in a habitat, and that habitat is important. These flowers could be food for other animals. So always take a picture, but don't take the flower with you. Make a flower instead. Thanks again, everyone, for joining me. My name is Kat, and I can't wait to see you next week with another craft corner.